All right. Well, we are going to jump right into it. And of course, we're going to start by revealing some of the assassins, including some of the player characters, as well as other key members they meet along the way. So let's start, Imar, with one of the more popular characters. Tell us a little bit about who Edward Kenway is.
djlonghairorig, guys.
Ooh. So
hey, made just in time
an
for the
interesting
first
thought.
spoiler card.
Edward Kenway is definitely one of the most popular character. Like he has his own game, like webkit series.
Good morning, everyone.
So Edward is a
TCGDude
pirate,
in the
and the
house.
cool thing with him is, at the time when we were creating the game, we were kind of exploring two different ways of creating an Assassin's Creed game. We were either focusing on a time period, so we're basically
I'm gonna go grab something.
building the whole game based on French Revolution, or would take a specific age or a period of time that would pivot like the course of what mankind would be, or we're focusing on an archetype. And Edward was really the first very strong archetype that we had, that was the pirate. So instead of building the whole world around, let's say, ancient Egypt, we build the whole world around the fantasy of being a pirate. And in order to fit, what we ended up doing was that Edward is not really an assassin for the whole game. You literally find a suit and pose as one and meet the assassin and discover their lore. And toward the end of the game is thinking of, yeah, maybe I should join because those guys are kind of battling and doing the right thing. So that allows us to embrace the whole democracy that the pirates were building, the free thinking, the way they kind of match the philosophy of the assassins. And then it was about pursuing that fantasy, being able to be a pirate, to raid, and to do all the cool stuff that a pirate would do rather than an assassin. So Edward, in that sense, is very, very interesting and is connecting to other characters, but I won't spoil anything yet.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely get to that. But Corey, how so everything that Imar just laid out, how did you
the ability on that card is pretty sick.
You see in front of us.
Yeah, I mean, so like Imar was saying, Edward Kenway is like a pretty iconic pirate character. He's doing all the pirate things. He's in
Yarg, matey, you know me.
In my opinion. So we really wanted to make a character that represented a lot of what pirates are about in Magic. Pirates show up in these colors, blue, black, and red, and we thought it was a good fit for the character as well. And you'll see this card is making treasures for having lots of pirates and assassins and vehicles. And when you crew your vehicles and they deal damage to your opponents, so you'll be stealing their cards. So in a sense, you're raiding them, you're taking their stuff like a pirate would be. And that's actually a little bit of a departure from what Magic pirates typically are about. We don't actually have a lot of Magic pirates that emphasize the vehicle gameplay, like having ships and boats and stuff like that. But it's such a huge factor in the moment-to-moment gameplay, I think, of Black Flag that it made a lot of sense to try to have our pirate packages.
Yeah, Benson, I feel you on that one. It's like, really? I mean, I guess because they want to do pirates and it's Assassin's Creed. And I mean, he is a human, but 3 creature types? Come on.
Lauren, we've got that memory corridor frame on the right, and fans of the game may get where that is going, but what is that meant to represent? What does that look and feel going for there?
So one they're the Beyond kind of boosters. I saw that they're going to be 5 card packs.
That you are exploring the past through the Animus.
Hopefully they're going to be 7 instead.
This is just a feature that I love about the games is that the UI
by Fallen Empires
as a player within the game is actually the UI of the Animus.
Don't blame me,
that
bro.
You as a person who is using the machine would be experiencing, and that is also included in the loading screens and the sort of pauses and the spaces in between each of the segments of the story. And so in our memory corridor frame, that's really what we wanted to evoke, is this sort of sense of like you loading in, where you have your character and you have this kind of very abstract background that's sort of representative of the world that they're in, but not necessarily the fully rendered version of it. It also gave us a really cool place to kind of juxtapose with their creature cards, where their sort of main cards are very action heavy. And
oh wow, they're still yapping on this one.
He's launching himself onto someone else's boat, and that's really like a cool and exciting, very parkour, very Assassin's Creed feeling thing that you would do in the game. But it doesn't let us like kind of get the cool hero shot, and so that's really what we also wanted to have in our memory corridor frame. So kind of let us get some of the best of both worlds.
Very cool. All right, we have more assassins to get through. Aymar, how many Assassin's Creed games are there?
In total, we're above like 14, but we're announcing, like, as we're recording right now, we got to release a CGI trailer for the upcoming
welcome
Assassin's Creed
everyone.
Red.
The me lives on.
There's people that are mainly accounting like the big AAA games that were released on console, but we also had like a PSP version based on the character Adeline de
Oh boy,
Grande.
words.
We had like
cheers everyone. That's
shorter
alive
2D
and well.
platformer called Chronicles with
We made it just in time for the
assassins. So
very
depending
first
the way
spoiler.
you're counting, we're around 15 plus right now.
Yeah, and there are
their library
plenty
is
of
quite
assassins for us to
extensive.
get through. Let's move on to the next one. And Aymar, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce this one. I'm going to give this one to you.
I know who we're talking about.
Yeah. So this is Connor, as he's also known. But
is that good volume,
Aymar, tell
guys?
us about this character.
Okay, so his Mohawk name is Radanageddon. And
we're gonna get him.
A very, very, very interesting and beloved character too. So the whole story and the whole premise is that he's a descendant in direct lineage from the character we just showed like before, with Edward. So basically, his father, that we'll probably talk about later too, is English, and his mother is Mohawk. So we worked with the team in Montreal and with historian, and we wanted to be very respectful of the Mohawk culture. So we reach out and we work with the council of the tribe, and you may not know it, but they are only giving a name once per tradition. So there's only one Radanageddon, and it's the character from the game. So we had to get approval on their side, and we worked on language, behavior, tradition to get sure that we would be able to craft like a very interesting and unique character and place it in a setting that would be exciting for a North American player across the and people that don't know necessarily that part of history across the globe. And he has a tormented past, and it's a character that is very fun because we played with his personal journey at the same time as we play on the present day narrative side. So while our main character in the prison, Desmond, was having a real hard time with his father, Radon was having exactly the same kind of journey in his personal life. That
anybody that doesn't know Assassin's Creed, that just sounded like ramble jamble Chinese, bro.
What's happening in the present day and what's happening in the past.
Yeah,
so,
that was a little.
We spent a lot of time
the way he kind of A to B to C that was a little rambly.
He really
but it's
embodies kind of the new modern
I love this
aspect
cross
of
guy,
Assassin's
dude.
Creed.
It's
And
all
in that
like
game, we spend a lot of time working
no
on the
haste, no
parkour
evasion,
system
jet
and the
card,
awareness,
twice removal.
in order to give him like
Chill,
way
bro.
more ability
All
to fast travel and to use nature at his advantage. So you really have the feel
like that.
of
Then
being
so
a
respond.
predator,
Hexproof,
whether
it
you're
can't
in
be
the
blocked.
wilderness or in a big city,
Really?
as we used to do in Assassin's Creed before.
Right. I mean, so it makes a 1/1 assassin creature token, and it brings an equipment from the graveyard to the battlefield, and attaches it to the token. So
exactly
it's really cool for Esper, Reanimator artifact.
I'm gonna say Ratanageddon, Ratanageddon. Okay, you can cut whatever you want to cut from that.
Oh, and he could.
We're leaving it all in, Corey.
With a sock outlet. It's not bad.
Ratanageddon is a very interesting character. I mean, he's a great character. I think that he could have been interpreted in a lot of different ways, color identity wise. He has a lot of different facets to him. He's very well rounded. There's a lot to speak to in terms of his strengths and his weaknesses. I think he's the character that he could have been expressed in different color identities the most out of all the characters that we have here. We chose this color combination.
There's a current live count of 2,653 on YouTube.
Yeah.
So technically, they have about 5,000 viewers, but YouTube does have the lead right now. If anybody's curious about that.
Okay. Well, I was wondering, how's the chat over there?
But we didn't necessarily have a good expression, have a unique
active. There's big names in here too. I saw Card Market
different types of equipment
up in here.
Assassins too. He's got
the European fellas who make the quirky
But we thought that in
Magic
general, this
content.
design was cool.
I really like
take
their stuff,
on
actually. Shout out to Card
this
Market.
Magic card where you're trying to bring equipment back from the graveyard. That's not something that you see a lot, and I think it kind of fits well in this color identity. We also have this very interesting evasion on the first line where he can't be blocked. He's hexproof as long as he hasn't dealt damage before his first hit. He's really,
nice one.
really hard to remove. What you'll end up seeing actually is like a lot of.
Look at Brian go.
In chat, what's the volumes levels like? Are we too loud over the stream? Is the stream too loud over us?
Try to
that way we don't have it wrecked the whole thing, you know, the whole time.
Well, I have it down to
but overall, I really like
40.
the card.
Okay,
really well.
that's groovy.
Hopefully that's better.
Hell yeah! Oh no, I wasn't trying to complain.
Of being elusive and evasive, Lauren, talk to us about this art and also that foil.
Wow, they're milking.
Yes. So one of the
we're gonna have
pieces
each person in the panel talk about it for 5 hours.
This is also the first game that I played.
Yeah, that's kind of lame.
Released all of the other ones I came to after the fact. Or the earlier games.
Well, how long do you think the stream's gonna go for?
Like, I can run and jump.
It might be a full ass hour.
And that
you know what I'm
felt
saying?
like a very sort of resonant piece of the gameplay experience in this game to be able to run through the wilderness and really get that sense that you are larger than life
really
character
Benson
that can sneak above all of your enemies. So I love how this one turned out. In terms of the foil etched, I believe we have a handful of cards
Need
in the
that,
set that we wanted to just have
2
kind of
hours later.
very cool showcase treatment. If you haven't seen foil
Right.
etched, I find one of them, look at the cards. They're very fun.
So apparently they
It's
didn't
just
do
sort of
foil
another
etched for
expression
many of the
another way that
cards.
you can jazz up
Really?
your deck.
Yeah.
I would also say,
What do you
with the
think of
color
that memory
identity that Corey
corridor frame?
mentioned, one of the features in Magic is
Not
that
a
blue
fan.
black is our pretty classic
Really?
Assassin's
It's
colors,
too-
and in a lot of ways, Radon is a
I
very
mean,
classic
the
Assassin's Creed
bottom
character.
text is
He
okay,
has
but
all
the
of the
top,
abilities and all of the sort
like,
of
it's kind of
stealth
borderless,
and
but not.
skill and
And
core that you would
I
expect
don't know,
of
man.
one, but he has
It-
that sort of extra element of the
I've
kind of
never
right
actually played
sense of justice and
Assassin's Creed, any of the versions, so
care and really trying to
the
make the world
tricked out like
better,
computer
and
frame
a
type
lot of
thing,
morals that he's sort of
it's
I
not
wanna say
really hitting
conflicted
me.
with over the course of the game. Like he's trying to
okay.
figure
I
out
like-
what
I like the
he
etched a little
wants to
better.
fight for, and I think that is sort of
I don't know.
brilliant.
You like
The
it, or
color was an
I
important
do.
I mean, some of the art's
personally.
okay.
I think it actually is on point with the game. Like they were able
Well,
to
and that's
blend
actually
the
a good jumping
two
off point
fairly
for
well, in my
our
opinion.
next assassin,
All right,
who
fair.
is neither
I guess
black
I have
nor
to,
blue.
like, I don't know,
Let's
watch
take
more
a
videos
look
or
at
something,
Bayek
get
of
the feel for it.
I think I have Assassin's
There we
Creed
are.
on Xbox
All right,
360.
Aymar, tell us
I
a
could
bit about Bayek.
I could bust out a stream here.
Bayek is
Yeah.
a very,
later
very
we can run
interesting
through it.
character that
Just
is,
have a
Oh
little
my god, they
hour or
finally made it
two.
to the next card.
because it came
Oh my
Finally.
god.
kind of the second
Finally.
phase of game for Assassin's Creed. We can say that we have the classical ages
There you
where
go, a little
the main
Boros action.
protagonist was Desmond. So we're talking about Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelation, 3, 4, and then
Boros,
with
baby, let's
the
go.
arrival of a new
Yup, little
generation
Boros
of console
action.
and more, basically more horsepower, we tackled down a new approach to the way we were making Assassin's Creed game, and instead of usually focusing on one big
I almost
city
forgot
or
about
one big
disguise as a
city with
mechanic,
hub,
bro.
we decided to work in whole country. So the idea was to recreate the kingdom of ancient Egypt.
Oh yeah.
And that was a massive.
We were
task
talking about
took
that
us a lot of time, and
when
kind
we
of
saw it come out,
like
like-
origins at the second phase of the Assassin's Creed game.
Way more
that included
like,
more RPG element.
basically one
bigger,
more, I
broader
guess.
world,
Yeah.
but you know,
For
follows
more.
up with
2 with Horde.
Odyssey
That's
and
different.
Valhalla later on. So that one was kind of a reboot of the franchise in a way for us, in the way we were designing things. So to get sure that we were close to our roots, what we decided to do was to get
incomplete,
really,
Ryan
really, really
says.
back in time, and we're talking
I mean,
incomplete, like 49,
it looks vanilla to
before
like
our
today's
era.
standards, but
And
I don't know,
we
bro.
wanted to express
It literally
the
gives all your other
origins, hence the
legendary
name,
creatures
of
double
a lot
strike.
of modern
Like,
day elements
there's a
that people
lot
know
of
from the
legendary
Brotherhood.
creatures out
So
there
we
now.
know
You know what I'm
basically in the
saying?
lore that the assassins existed for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, but when you
But
flip
we
it,
question
it's
yourself about like where are some
why
of
not
the
just
elements
pay the
coming from,
5,
and
dude?
Hence,
of course.
allowed us to showcase some of the elements. So
I mean,
why are the
CMC
is
a little
high. History cutting down one of their fingers.
Yeah,
the use of the
you have to pay one more to disguise it for no advantage.
The logo of the assassin, but it is in fact the.
I mean, next turn when you flip it,
an eagle
it's good,
skull
but
that you would put on the sand.
Why,
and
dude?
Give you that kind of symbol.
I imagine
So
that's really for a draft or
core, like
constructed
the
mechanic instead of a commander
and
mechanic,
then the
right?
whole idea was also not to get back to once again retell
yeah,
the
that's
story of the
interesting. How does that
journey
work?
of somebody joining the assassins and discovering the Brotherhood, but
yeah, I just thought
instead kind of building the Brotherhood.
Thank you
So
for thinking
Bayek
that.
is a very different character
I'm
in the
confused.
sense of we're not starting the journey with Bayek being all happy and suddenly something happening. We're starting the journey in action with Bayek.
I didn't even bother to spam
having
this.
a
I'm doing
target
so awesome
and
today.
Getting to closing the deal and killing that guy. At the same time, you see him like.
But we kept the
basically
meme
marking
alive,
his
guys.
arm,
We kept it
and
alive.
You see that he has a whole list, kind of Kill Bill style, where he's already in action. So you basically have a couple of flashbacks and discover like the tragedy and the death of the character. So for us, it was interesting from a narrative standpoint to have something that was darker and more mature than what we used to deal with. We're talking about the loss of a child, the impact that it can have on your life, and the way Bayek will evolve before kind of becoming the first hidden one and deciding to vanish from history. So he's a very, very unique and important character for all fans because he is at the starting point of what is Assassin's Creed today.
Now, Corey, one of my favorite things about this set is
this may sound a little insensitive,
magic mechanics,
but I really feel like that
Haystack, which we revealed at the
his
first
heavy
look,
French
was
accent
one of those, but
really
disguise
makes it difficult to keep
up. How did you
know what I'm saying? Like, fella's really nice, and I'm sure he's done really good work
well, I like
at Ubisoft.
Certainly, disguise makes a lot of sense.
Definitely
here.
passionate. So
yeah, of course, and that's why I'm not trying to sound like a jerk. But I'm also just a derp, so you know. I'm Captain Hot Dog Brain over here, so you know it is what it is.
Doesn't have a draft environment.
Yeah,
is really focused on the card by card individual flavor.
I mean,
and charm.
I have to give Wotc credit and Ubisoft because they managed to talk longer about a card than Perps.
Was a really cool idea to do. So
here
we see Bayek with disguise.
Oh,
congrats!
Man, that's funny.
Congrats!
Right. You're second place now, Perps. Sorry.
Sorry, Perps.
Assassins. You also notice that Bayek cares about historic stuff. As
oh my god,
like playground through history, like playing through history.
I need a panel of 10 others just so they can keep talking about this card for an hour.
Yeah, my attention span isn't that long, bro.
In general, assassins do lean black, blue and black mostly, but we want to make sure we can make cards about
hey Justin, exactly.
All right, so fellas making commentary saying that assassins are normally black blue, but they wanted to be able to extend that a little bit, you know, a little dip into the color pie.
It's hard to make legendary assassins that care about assassins in non-black colors.
How many times can we say assassins?
Historically are a very black color pair, so when we're making a Bayek like this, we think that historic creatures basically being a fancier way to say legendary creatures.
Oh my god, dude! Can we get on to the next
really
card?
good hook? No. For him to still feel like he's the leader of something, and he can lead a deck with others.
Why don't we move on from talking about this one card and show another?
Not necessarily constrain you to finding a bunch of white assassins because
Smackdown
in the greater Magic atmosphere.
Mod got him.
And Lauren, eagle-eyed fans who are watching, and that pun was intended, may notice something. Thank you.
Holy crap! Are they still talking about this one
in the
card?
Background of Bayek's art. What is that?
So first of all, I love Bayek. His story, I think, was such a phenomenal one, and part of that was what you may notice in the back of the card is
it is Winoda
his wife or
colors. So
former wife. They're still technically married, but separated, and it is their child that they lose in the early aspect of the game. It's a very minor spoiler for like the first 15 minutes. And this is very much the story of both of their grief and how that manifests and how it looks
we've
really
explored
different
this.
for the two of them. Bayek, I think, still
Bulk
retains a
rare
lot of
enough
his sort
for
of
this
obligations, his
slide
feelings
of the
obligations for
presentation. Please
Egypt as a
move
Magi,
on.
whereas Aya has sort of shakes off a lot of
Right, I was just about to say, I just let my dog back
being
in from
an
barking with the
assassin
neighbors, and
and
they're
sort of,
still talking about
right-handed
this
Cleopatra.
card.
I know,
And
dude.
so I
Like,
really wanted
oh my
in
God.
the cards to have that sense of the two of them, because I think even though a lot of the game you're not necessarily seeing both of them together,
Yes,
they're sort of
yes.
omnipresent in
Show
each
the
other's
cards
lives.
usable in modern, please.
And so we have Aya in the background of this card, and when we eventually see Aya's
Yeah, this is definitely going to be
also in the
difficult to
background of that
jam in
card.
modern.
And just
But
the flavor text.
I'm the
take a
kind of
look at
guy
it.
that
I
would
particularly
try.
enjoy what we did with these two cards to really feel
Yeah.
like
All
they
right,
are
they're at
separate characters, but also still
2,700
very connected.
on Twitch.
And
They're currently
we
at
are not
28
reviewing her
on
this
YouTube.
stream. You'll have to pay
No,
attention to
you
the
get to
rest
look
of
It's
forward
what?
to that.
for that. Yeah.
They're currently at
now-
2,700 on Twitch,
I know.
and on YouTube,
I like
they
that we're
have
showing this one
28.
first because it is the
Almost
first episode.
29.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now there
I
aren't
see,
just rare assassins in this. We do have a suite of uncommon assassins. Let's meet our first one, Lydia Fry. So who is Lydia Fry?
Wow. Blake's on fire with the
was
puns today.
super surprised to see that we were using Lydia in the card set, but it makes so much more sense.
Oh
And
God. Okay.
because my main deck is always black and blue, I'm super happy because Lydia is an amazing card from a design standpoint. So as a character, she's basically a descendant of the Fry family, so Jacob and Evie. But I was the main protagonist of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, a game that was based in London during the Industrial Revolution. So it was very cool because it's one of those characters that you play
All right,
as
little
part of the
assassin
game
love
in
there.
kind
Okay.
of time anomaly in order to give you more glimpse of the impact and what would happen later on in the history. So she is really in London during the bombing.
There's
White
airplanes
border.
there. Huh?
Mission
Say what, bro?
I was gonna say. Oh, I was just gonna say the
absolutely
white
everything you would
border,
expect
like
and love from a traditional
in the
assassin.
darker colors,
And
the
yeah,
borderless
that's
isn't
kind
bad.
of the
But when it's all
character in a
white
nutshell.
background, it just kind of blends together. So
Right.
it's like,
and Corey, this looks more traditionally
Okay.
black blue.
Well, yeah, I imagine that they're going to be able to.
I guess it's growing on
this
me a little.
is a pretty straightforward.
Well, there's so many different color
it's an
combinations, so I
This is
imagine
assassin
those
for
memory
assassin.
corridors are going to
Some
wow
is really
some
It's
people
more of a
and not
minor character compared
others.
to a lot of the protagonist
Yeah.
assassins that we show off a lot in this set. We'll see a lot of those lower profile assassins.
You have
uncommon
not
because
said
we
assassins enough
do try
in this
to
one sentence,
cast a
dude.
wide net on bringing a bunch of cool characters into the card set.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
saying that there's going to be a lot of legendaries, so there'll be a lot of named characters.
Surveils,
Really?
scaling on your assassins. She does it all,
Yeah.
All right. We're going to move on to the next uncommon.
I love Blake.
Revealing today.
He's my favorite.
Get to. We've got so many more preview cards to get to. We're gonna
Yeah,
keep moving
thank you.
along.
Good.
We're gonna meet Adewale, Breaker of Chains.
door.
Tell us about
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
where's your
Adewale
memes?
is,
It's like we're over
is
here
a
waiting
character that
2
is,
weeks.
also features in Assassin's Creed 4
Yeah,
Black
right.
Flag. So it's a character that you will see with Edward, and it's going to be the
Edward.
only other captain of the Jackdaw. So basically, the main ship that you have that you can upgrade and play with in Assassin's Creed 4. And he also had his very own adventure in the form of the DLC Freedom Cry. So Adewale was super important from a narrative standpoint because he is literally an African character during the time of piracy, and it allows us to deal with heavy subjects such as slavery and his personal story, and the way he turns out to be independent, free, and allied himself with the assassins. So for us, it was important to spend a lot of time getting sure that we were writing the characters appropriately, at the same time giving a light on the way pirates were behaving themselves.
Damn it!
And
you can't.
how it allowed, like some people to rise above everyone else. And Adewale is a brute force in the
Damn
game
it,
in
we're
every
playing.
sense of the way. Is
we got to take a drink, TCGDude.
He's got like
Oh
tremendous
gosh, I
weapon
got my
that none
coffee.
other assassins is using, and at
All
the
right.
same time is super wise as an
I think we'd be
amazing
dead
character,
if
and
like
will end up being a
if we were
memorable
playing
captain
like
for the
even
Jaguars.
just with water.
Now,
If we had
Corey,
a drink at the
this
time every
card
time it said
looks like
assassin.
it is built to
I know, my
basically what
bladder
Edward
was-
Edward Kenway.
yeah,
Is that what you had
just-
in mind?
yeah,
when
he's
designing this
burst.
card?
Oh god.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, he's both a supporting character for Edward, and then he goes on to, lead his own stuff. But
Yo,
we build a
dude,
lot of the sets
that was
in terms
technical.
of having clusters of synergy, trying to connect characters that you would want to be connected to each other. And as I was talking about earlier, we're leaning the pirates a little bit more towards vehicles. You know, the assassin pirate vehicle batch is a similar batch that we saw in Edward himself. So Adwell is kind of designed to be a really powerful piece in a deck that might care about pirates and vehicles. And he's a 4/1, showing off his combat prowess, but also being a quite good stat line to crew vehicles.
Jace can't even comprehend this anymore.
So
that's funny.
Cluster of synergies. They're not archetypes. I think they're more like clusters in this set, but it's a cluster of pirate and vehicle stuff.
Very cool. All right, we're going to move on to one.
Oh my god!
If not the
No
more
way.
popular characters in the set. So we've already seen a version of Ezio before. But here we see another version.
Let him toss that
earlier
rose.
stage in his life. This is Ezio Brash Novice. So tell us, Aymar, about Ezio. at
Riz
this
level
stage of his life.
9,000.
Yeah, Ezio
Right.
is probably like the most famous and one of the most.
Somebody
beloved
give me a
characters
towel,
of the
I'm
whole
hot.
franchise. He was a risky character to develop because we were basically building upon the success of Assassin's Creed.
I like
1
that
and
though. I
Altair,
mean, whenever he attacks,
and
but
the
counter
game
on it.
was massive hit, and everyone was
I
expecting.
wonder how many different
as with
Ezios
many
they're gonna
other video
have,
game
because
franchises,
seeing
to
Ezio as
continue
an
the journey of
uncommon
the
is a
story of the
little
main character,
like,
but we
huh?
dropped everything, changed the time
Mm.
period, get into
It's like
something that
what was it?
kind of
20? Was it 20?
untapped territory for
We had like
an
20
action
different
adventure
genres
game
in this
like the
set.
Italian Renaissance, and having that
Oh.
character that was living La Dolce Vita.
Yeah, it was in
especially
20.
here in that version as Ezio Brash Novice. So he's
Copy
a
that.
young Italian noble coming from a Firenze family, and he's just enjoying life with brother, having fun.
I mean, I'm
being
glad
a
this guy's
womanizer,
on
being
because like
cocky,
that
and
whole
suddenly drama
2-hour
hits his
video that
family
we
in the
watched to
form
catch
of,
up on
meeting
lore
the
and
Borgia,
stuff
and
was
he
so
discovered
worth
that
it.
his father was part of a secret cult, the Assassins. In those different games,
I admire the guy's
He's
passion though.
starting as a
You know,
young noble, being like Brash,
Yeah. Well,
and we're
and
just
then he
jealous we don't have
become,
his accent.
wiser.
Don't
He
lie,
become
bro.
a
that's
master
yeah,
assassin. He'll
exactly.
rebuild a brotherhood and
We don't
be
have
the
his
mentor of everyone.
Ezio
And
swagger.
he ended up his life being,
Yeah, right.
bitter and looking at the assassins and the cult with another eye.
Assassins.
And I think that going from his young age to the age of delusion and everything in between, falling in love, losing things, losing friends, is something that
Love is
resonates
passion.
with a lot of people, because you'll be an Ezio at a specific age of your life. So we spent time like crafting his personal story, and the whole Assassin franchise evolved with him. So is definitely one of the key characters, if not
Oh
the
my
one
God.
that is featured the most whenever we're talking about Assassin's Creed. And that version of the card is, in fact, focusing on Ezio being
Bruh.
young and cocky.
Young
Yeah,
I guess
and
Lauren,
cool.
given
that makes
everything Lauren
sense,
just
though.
said, how important
Yeah.
was it to get multiple versions of Ezio at different stages in his life in the set?
See, here we go. This is answering
It's
what I was
definitely
asking
one of
earlier.
our earlier priorities.
No,
I think
so we
it's a
can blame
combination of
Blake.
the
Okay, got
popularity
it.
of the character, but also
Word.
just the growth and change that he experiences. Like Aymar was saying, he's kind of the only one that you see at multiple points throughout his life, and being able to
Speaking of which,
so Magic,
see how
we have
chat's hanging.
individual cards, and they tend to be very static. We're going to show you a single snapshot in time, this character in this place. And with Legends in particular, when we can show multiple versions of the card, that's kind of how
Oh
we
yeah,
can
Boris
convey how they change,
Voltron
who
for
they
sure.
become. So even
dies
Ezio's
to
color identity changing,
blocking
his creature types
Termaglaive.
changing, and the art changing really shows us this whole
Dies
thing.
to opt.
I think in particular, one of the things I like about the Brash Novice card is that the flavor text is actually a quote from, I believe, the final game, Revelations. That's sort of him reflecting back on his life, and it's sort of this very hubris moment where it's
dies
like,
to
you're
basic
seeing him in
island.
the art being his very young self, and then sort of recollecting like the kind of full
my
journey in a
goodness.
single image. And so big shout out to the editors
Dies
for
the
getting that full quote on the card. It was a little touch and go at a couple points. They're like, I don't know if this fits, and I'm like, it's really important. Please make it fit. So our editors
I agree with
amazing, so
Rock
our
State.
types
The
of
memory
this and everything
corridor
they're doing.
variant's pretty cool.
But yeah,
They're
that was
cool,
definitely a feature we wanted to show on this card.
Dies to card.
Well, and Ezio is so popular and so woven into
Dies to
Assassin's Creed
Omnithopter.
that,
Damn.
Our
Dies
next
to
card
Storechrome.
is Brotherhood Headquarters.
Oh, here we
this
go.
one actually depicts, Lauren, Ezio's home.
All right.
Yeah, so for Montegiorni, I probably pronounced that horribly wrong, but close enough. It
Add
is,
1 mana
it was kind of
for an
remark- or
assassin spell
notable
only.
in that it was
Okay.
like you were
It doesn't add any
rebuilding it over the
abilities or
course of the
anything.
game. You were
That's-
investing in it. Like that was the whole reason you were like buying up shops in Venice.
Yeah,
and
I
so
mean,
capturing
I'm
that, I
not
think is kind of the first like really iconic
I
headquarters, and also one of the
suppose
few
it's
that
you know
served as its own
not
location.
good
It's
enough
another
to be a
card for
rare.
Field of the Dead,
The
bro.
correct
That's all.
choice. Also,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
Another
really.
land for the
beautiful.
Field of the Dead. Yeah.
Like who doesn't love a villa in Italy?
Well, here's the thing, man.
Yeah,
Is there's so many multicolored
Now, one of my favorite
cards in
things
the set
about
that
both
they needed a
this
mana
set
fixer.
and
So
the
Yeah, I
Assassin's
get it.
Creed games as a whole are a lot of the relationships.
Oh God, shut up,
that
Shark.
we get to play around
I
with.
mean,
And we're gonna
whatever.
see.
There's
This is
no point
maybe my
to that
favorite
comment
relationship in
with
the
this.
entire series. We're gonna see the cards for Eivor and Sigurd. So first of all, we're gonna meet Eivor Wolfkiss.
Mutavault is an
Imar,
assassin.
Tell us
That's right.
about Eivor and Sigurd as well when we'll get to him in a sec.
So yeah, Eivor is the main character.
No etched on this one.
The game Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and once again, it's a game where we start the approach with the archetype rather than the typical time period. So what we decided was, okay, we had the pirate, we want to play with
Another
the
thing
Viking,
for Saga decks. There you
and
go.
how to conciliate being a
Sega.
Viking and being an assassin, because there are so many things that don't necessarily match. Like you shouldn't in the tenets, meaning literally the creed of the assassins, there are different rules. You shouldn't provide the brotherhood, you shouldn't spill the blood of innocent, which is not very compatible with raiding and what we think when we're thinking Vikings. So we had to play around that idea, and we set in a time period where, once again, Eivor is not going to be a real assassin from the get-go. She's going to meet some assassins. She's going to
Naya doing land stuff as is tradition.
Thing, but we're gonna get closer.
Yeah.
But
Big
Eivor
7,
is a
6
Saga
very
and land.
specific character.
Yeah.
In the sense
Yeah,
of she's
Saga.
not
Is this the same
purely what
colors
we
as
qualified as human.
She
She
wait, the
she
Saga
is
one
part
from
of,
Lord of the
like, our
Rings. He was
meta lore
all
in a
5, right?
really weird way. So long story
I think
short,
so.
she's kind of
Okay.
a god amongst like humans. She had like this extrasensual
I have yet to see a
abilities.
modern card yet, though.
And
I'm just saying.
she'll be the lead character of the game. In the game, you'll have the opportunity to choose like different version of Eivor.
Agreed.
We are going with the canonical
I
version
mean,
where
the novice
Eivor
Ezio is
a
like,
female,
maybe
and
draftable
embodying
in a modern draft or whatever, but like,
the
nah, not
story
in
and everything
constructed.
I'm glad you're liking it,
all the
Solar.
mythical aspect. So
Saga.
she's not only super smart, she's super strong. She's gonna be basically taking the lead.
Foga?
And her brother,
Foga.
Sigurd, is also
I'm hungry,
a
bro.
very specific
I
and
need
know.
some
Why are you
pho.
talking about pho right now,
He's at
dude?
the start of the
Yeah.
game, the
What the
Jarl
pho?
of Ravensthorpe, that is their camp. But he'll be busy chasing Chimera and trying to build a legion while you'll do the heavy lifting. And at some point, of course, there's going to be a clash and there's going to be an issue in between.
Oh
like,
my god, we
Sigurd
went to
and
another
yourself.
card already?
I
Whoa.
won't spoil the whole game for people that want to play the game because it's not that old. But there's a very interesting relationship between both of them.
It's not
They'll
that old.
basically start as brother in arms, and they'll build something together, and they'll reach a point where they'll argue about like
Oh,
whose
okay.
place and
Finally,
whose
a
role
3-mana
is the most
beater.
important in that
Vigilance
community.
Trample,
But that's one of the
lifelink.
new and very important aspects.
And another
of
one for
Valhalla.
that
The fact that you're not
Saga
only
deck.
fighting for yourself, you're not only
Saga.
trying to build your
Mhm.
legend, but you're torn apart in between trying to accomplish memorable things and at the same time
You know what's
Yeah.
really cool
taking
is
care
this
of
is
your own
one of the
community
few
and building upon them. And that's
Saga
why those
commanders,
characters are
right?
working
Like
well
there's a
together,
lot of
but
enchantment
also will clash at
commanders,
some point.
but specifically sagas.
Corey,
Yeah,
I
it's kind of cool.
absolutely love putting these cards together because they both play on sagas.
And
They've
it's
also got
boast
Sayer,
one,
who's
so
got the boast ability, which is so perfect for that character. Talk about designing these two cards together.
Yeah, I mean, we thinking about Vikings, we pulled together Boast, which is a mechanic from our Norse mythology-inspired Magic sets, but also Sagas, which is a good expression of story.
Hillbilly.
The Viking nature of like getting into battle and then going and telling a lot of stories or bragging about
Exactly.
it, making history and making that, you know.
So this one's sort of
so we do a lot
modern,
of Saga
kind of,
synergy with these two
almost.
characters. We share a color
Not.
identity here.
I'd try and jam it.
You know,
All right.
as Amar referenced with Odin,
But
you know, maybe
probably
there's another
only
character with
specifically in a
color identity that
lifelink
will-
enchantment
that will
deck,
also
like
share
an
a relationship with
enchantress.
Ivor, but that is to be seen. Overall, I'm really excited about these cards. I think the Saga synergy is super fun. Fun facts.
I can't wait till they show a modern card.
Reversed for a while. But they were on each other's cards for a while, so until we ended up, you know,
A
realizing
good one.
that, they made a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
I mean, I don't play
switch
modern,
with
but
Ivor being
I like to know what one looks like.
powerful,
You know,
stronger static character, and Sigurd being more
Mm.
of the boasting community leader type thing.
I mean, 6 mana for
Alright,
a 7/6
earlier in
is
the,
on par
in the
with like
show,
what
we
the
talked a
dragons
bit
cost,
about
you know.
one of
Yeah.
the big appeals of Assassin's Creed is getting to play in the history, and that is a weird space for Magic sometimes.
Really?
Now
Like,
we've already
really?
met a couple historical figures in Cleopatra and Leonardo da Vinci that we revealed at the first look. Today we are going to reveal another one, which also comes serialized. So
yeah, I agree
let's
with
meet
this this guy
Socrates.
here.
And Lauren, why don't you tell us a little bit about that push and pull about putting real historical characters in a Magic set?
Yeah, it's definitely a
Exactly.
relatively new space for Magic to explore, something that we
Oh,
really started doing.
sorry,
with
I already
Universes
tuned out.
Beyond,
It has white and
because,
blue in
you know,
it.
we are
I
a
can't read
fantasy
it.
property, and so most of our
No, they're talking about
put
put real people on cards, like how Albert Einstein
particularly
was
interesting
on a card back in
when
the day.
approaching very real aspects
Yeah.
of history. I think a lot of Assassin's Creed, you're kind of getting to spend time in history, but meeting a historical figure kind of really grounds you in like what happened in our past. And a lot of human history is very fraught, and a lot of really not great things have happened. And so in selecting characters, we
They're
wanted
serializing
range
the
across
historic
games.
figures. That's the big
So
takeaway here,
Cleopatra
guys.
and Socrates here being from our kind
And
of
in
more
their
recent
language.
games versus
I
Leonardo
know
da
we
Vinci
covered that
being
before,
from one of
but
the
I'm
In
just saying.
double
older
rainbow
games, but
foil.
also largely leaning
Oh,
into what
man.
I'd say are more allies to
So
the
what are
main
they
characters.
saying
So
about our
Cleopatra
historical
is
figures
sort of
now?
our exception,
Interesting.
where she starts as an ally and then things change over the course of the game. As a slight spoiler.
Where are they starting
But
historically?
really sort of finding people who are more supportive
Oh, no.
to the Assassin's
That was
characters than
a different
necessarily
comment there,
antagonistic
but
to
no
them.
worries.
In part
Yeah.
because a lot of the antagonistic characters also represent very fraught characters in our present day and our very recent history.
Power
And the
creep.
other
Let's
important piece
push
is
out
really
old
leaning on all
established
of the work
players.
that
Yeah.
Ubisoft has already done to express these characters. Like the versions that we're showcasing are not our interpretations, but are the interpretations in the present in our games, and really leaning on all of the work
Karl
that they've
Marx
done,
legend.
in the
Win.
games for how they wanted
Yeah,
to portray
right.
these characters, showcase them. At
They'd
what their
have to make him
personalities are within the
uber
game
broken.
to sort of still tie it
No
to
political
the
message
fantasy
there.
setting of Assassin's Creed.
Now, Corey, the philosophy
exactly.
major in me is just tickled pink to see Socratic dialogue.
Wait, free
on a Magic
cat.
card.
Hold on, what?
But
Oh,
talk
okay. A
bit
little
about how you
history
ended
about
up
Blake
on
there. He
this
was a
design
philosophy major.
for Socrates.
Uh-huh.
I think Socrates was a really tough one to design.
That's
It's
cute.
like, I want to design a card that is not about at all. By the way, this is a combat game. You can do damage. I want a card that you play and you're like, okay, the goal of this card is that I start to get into like a discussion, a philosophical discussion with someone. So we really try to make an ability here that made you be like, hold on.
I love this panel on every single card.
You can attack me and we can draw a card. Or it's like, I want this card to spark some like literal discussion in the table. And I'm imagining this mostly for Commander for what it's worth, because it is quite a political card, which really leans towards the Socratic dialogue stuff. But
yeah,
I think we did a great job here. I think it's a super fun card, and it's gonna. I think it's gonna.
What a modern card looks like in 2024.
Hey, here's the deal. If you do this, I can do this. Blah blah blah.
He said blah blah blah.
But I also want to move on to the Templars. We've spent a lot of time talking about the protagonists and the good guys, but this set has the Templars as well. So we met the Magic version of Edward Kenway earlier, but Aymar, the Kenway family tree has many branches and plays a major
time
role
to start seeing other
Assassin's
sides of the characters.
So let's meet another Kenway, and Aymar, tell us about Hatham and the whole Kenway.
I'll
family
blow it up
tree.
here.
Yeah, okay, the starting point.
Story time.
Oh,
sorry.
And going there was that at some point we wanted to.
So I had to bring back that ancient meme. Let's
what
go.
We've been explaining, talking about, showcasing with the assassins. Because
a knight commander,
as you said, being a good guy, being the protagonist, but sometimes being
and protection from assassins. There you go.
You're the focus point of the world story.
But it could be exile up to one target
and
creature.
That's what we wanted to illustrate. We wanted to showcase that there was a layer of death, and that you were not playing some good guys.
So it's a
banishing
priest, a banisher priest, or whatever.
Fighting philosophies.
That's all right.
The assassins embodied
expect
free
to
will,
see this at many tables
the
and
Templar
pods.
are more about control and order. And in that sense, when we
definitely
Hatham Kenway,
so Zorius, right?
We literally showcase him as using assassin's method before
Zorius,
that he's a Templar. So
a
the opposite faction of the assassins. But the way they operate at the time is, if you look at the Templar,
there we go. Okay, we got a parody in the works there.
The Templar were formerly strongly fighting against slavery. They don't have like the position of being the bad guy systematically all the time. They think that mankind should be
more knights,
please, be under the control of people.
It'd be cool to see Michael Knight. That's right.
And they feel that they are with people. So Hatham
legendary
is really
vehicle Knight Rider,
the figure of the dead and when Radonageddon is basically
what was the card name?
Full of fury and will.
Yes, this card literally shuts down a whole assassin deck.
People to be able to basically
remove everyone's commander, rinse and repeat. You
have somebody over playing the puppet master, and it is that. So the conflict ultimately will reach a point where it's going to be pretty bloody between both of them. It's thank God it doesn't always end up that way. But I think that it was an interesting character.
Imagine if you get rid of legendary rule and just clone the guy.
Talked about Assassin's Creed
multiple times.
What we were showcasing was always
you can literally lock down the game, bro.
And suddenly you start the game and you end up playing as Hatham. And it drove some of the people.
A typical freaking Azorius crap, bro. I'm sorry, I had to say it like bruh.
Your slow burn. It's gonna be a long story.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a little cringe.
But I'll have the
dude.
It's gonna be fun.
But I do like what it said. At least you can still kill it with lightning bolt. So there you go. All right, fair.
Facing like a Disney type of character where everything is black and
because all you have to do is lock it down.
And you're fighting against
evil. It's just assassins, though, right? No, it's the target card
and motivation why the character is doing things. So I think that exposing Hatham that way is really interesting.
Permanent or creature.
What we've noticed is the younger you are, the closer you are usually.
In the mirror.
You're kind of an anarchist. You want to, destroy.
You spelled Aquarius wrong.
You get, the bitter you get, the more nihilist you get, the closer you get to the Templar, you're like, well, right. Well, let's go with Aetham.
I like how
I
he's
still very
basically
vividly
talking about
remember
young
that
kids
reveal
are
in
like
the game
rebels, you
where
know, typically,
you were
and as we
playing,
get
you
older, we're
were
like,
an assassin,
okay, it's time to follow the rules. You know, we need order and
did
structure.
the whole thing.
Right.
But I also want to
Interesting.
look at our next card because I think this is a really cool way to display the Templars in this set. So this is Templar Knights or Knight, although Knights.
So
it's
Templars
definitely
are
gonna
going to be
plural
white,
when you're
blue.
playing it. So it's
Wow.
got that line at the bottom, Corey. A deck can have any number of cards named Templar Knight. How did you land there?
Ooh.
Yeah, the Templar, it's very interesting.
I think they've been looking for a
early
white
design
card to
inspirations
do
might
the
be
any number
the
of, right? How they have
Assassin or
relentless
other
rats
blue,
and
black or red
other
as
stuff and
protagonists,
other
and the Templar
colors.
Knights would be in
That's
blue
pretty
white
dope.
as the antagonist, which is a very unique setup for a typical story because typically the black and the white are reversed in that sense. As we kept developing the set,
Ooh, and
we
it
found
tutors
that there was
for a
more
legendary
appetite to
artifact
make
card.
a lot of different assassins, a lot of different assassins characters, and there was less appetite to make so many Templars. But Templars are a big part of the game. Their primary antagonist.
Prime up in here says it's a
So
load
one
of
of the things we wanted
crap.
to do was to make a representation of just like a Templar that could, it's a single card, a single slot in the set, but it could, represent many, many Templars, many minions, peons, knights in general, which this is. Also, this kind of idea of this is kind of referred to as a relentless mechanic in Magic. The idea that you can have any number of this type of card in your deck.
Oh my god, dude!
thought
Yeah,
that,
we need it.
from
Like
just a pure
so
Magic
many
mechanical
words,
standpoint,
bro.
I
Ah!
a white one. It feels like a color that has a lot of creatures and nice card. So now making a Templar Knight that you can have any number of to represent like a limitless amount of Templar Knights made a lot of sense. And if you look at this ability here, it's searching for legendary artifacts that kind of represents, the end goal of.
What's up, Prime? How you doing?
Here is the search for these mythical artifacts, these MacGuffins throughout the Assassin's Creed games that are
MacGuffin.
Oh, right.
Vehicle of getting that control and that power.
Wow.
On either side of the conflict. So here it is. Templar Knight represents a bunch of Templars.
That's right. I'm more fun now than when I was a kid. That's right.
MacGuffins. That's a white card. I'm gonna make a deck with like 30 of these. I think
30 is the right number.
Mm-hmm. Here first.
All right. Well, the Assassin's Creed games aren't all about the past. As Lauren said earlier, we give you some of the modern day stuff as a little treat. So we're going to move on to the treat section of the show, I guess. Let's take a look at I don't know if you want to call them the big bad or just how Aymar, how would you describe Abstergo Entertainment?
Yeah, it's the upfront of the Templar order in the modern day. So instead of being as public as they were at some point in history before being
a filter
down and burn to the last one. That's what history.
Okay, and grab a legendary.
The Templars has been acting a bit more like the assassins
from your graveyard to hand and then exiled. Okay,
agent, and
interesting.
they're using a huge conglomerate, the Abstergo company, as something to hide their operation and to leverage.
I want treats too.
Funding, and at the same time doing some research. And the fun thing is we created many different branches. So you have Abstergo Industries, and that one is.
Oh, sorry about that.
So it's
look at what
and franchises side of the
look how
thing.
And
their main headquarters was.
He's so focused.
Assassin's Creed main studio, and there was a lot of joke and references in Assassin's Creed 4 about Ubisoft. So a lot of my colleagues, a lot of the stuff that you can hear are in fact coming from. Well, the frustration
now I
of
want
developers.
Treats, damn it.
So we use that as an occasion to vent out. So there's plenty of funny things in it, and it's so cool to see it in a card.
Okay, so he's talking about the flavor text, I believe, is going to be super fire on a lot of these cards, and that's awesome.
Some modern day assassins as well. we have opinions are split on these two characters, but they definitely go hand in hand.
I think it's just mine and Blake's opinion.
just Lauren's opinion and my opinion of Sean. Not producer Sean, but Sean and Rebecca, agents. Lauren, I'm gonna give you the joy here of talking a bit about who Sean and Rebecca are.
So there are a number of like the modern day characters, and Sean and Rebecca, they really are a pair. They literally, I think, are married at this point in the story. And they are recurring characters that show up as sort of your allies. They're your tech support. They're the ones who kind of help Desmond initially in the Animus. I enjoy a good pun.
Yeah, when he escapes from the Templars. That's
sort of
yeah.
I don't know how to.
Every game has a twist around every hour of gameplay, bro. I swear. Honestly, it's a good series, but if you don't keep up with it, you're just like, who is what,
two of them
where,
really
why?
Throughout the course of the game, so they felt very important to represent as kind of your allies and your support within the game itself.
I don't know why, but I was expecting them to show a Jurassic Park card.
He's just always got
attitude
about it. Just always
he's just gently ribbing you. It's
Justin Tierney says the native computer in a high fantasy game. Yeah, so essentially the Animus is like the Matrix, bro. And like you plug in your main dude into this machine to travel back and do memories and unlock memories from your ancestors,
which is very fitting. So let's see.
On Rebecca. Literally what I'm talking about, bro.
So Corey, talk a little bit about design. I mean, the Animus is so central to this game as a mechanism for how everything works. So there had to be a lot of pressure, maybe is the right word, to get the Animus right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's the.
I guess technically that kind of works.
Into this machine that lets you relive these memories, and Sean and Rebecca, like in many of the games, are literally the people running this thing and helping you out while you're in it. So it felt really on point for them to basically do this thing and come back. But
kind of a flavor win a little bit, TCGDude.
We came up with a pretty literal interpretation.
You think so?
You're collecting
memories,
of lost legends, and then
as close as they can get to the game in that aspect.
It's very
I mean,
and the fact that it's green, white, blue, because like.
Well, I was talking about the Animus, but yeah.
Oh, the Animus. Oh no, absolutely, bro. My bad. Let me rewind for half a second.
No worries.
Put the Animus in this set, it would have been an absolute failure. Like the Animus is like
modern era. We
part of
have
like it's 99% of the story. You know what I'm saying? How you get in?
Yeah.
The current storyline.
Exactly.
So, Imar, tell us about Layla and her journey.
Layla. Oh.
Yeah, Layla is kind of the spiritual successor to Desmond. That was the main character we used to craft the story on the very first Assassin's Creed game. We reached a point where we were hesitating in between adding new characters or not adding new characters for the present day layer. And the reason is purely about design. It's about the fact that we're asking you to play someone.
Did they play a modern card yet?
But he's using a machine to play someone else in another template. So it was a lot of layer. So we had to find like a right and proper balance and be able to tell a story that is compelling in the present day and that would resonate with what's happening in the past. So Layla is kind of the reboot new character that we're using in order to do so. She's the first character and that will welcome all of the newcomers into the franchise and that would carry the weight of advancing the meta story and the lore. And she is like a super, super interesting character where Desmond was a bartender that was mainly interesting because of his DNA and his legacy. Layla is super interesting because of who she is. The way she acts, she is like a super genius. She is passionate by history. She's got tons of skill. She exactly knows what she's doing. She's super strong. And she's using kind of a really weird prototype machine that looks like a sarcophagus, and that was the whole idea
history of the card there.
But she's basically using a new tech that allows her to
What's
tap
up?
into somebody's
I was just
memory
listening to
without
what they
being
were
directly
saying because I was
connected,
unsure
without
about
that
the
person
history of
being an
that
ancestor.
character
So
because they were
he's
saying
able to
new
relive like
characters.
multiple
So it's like,
memories.
are they
And
injecting like a
she'll
straight
have
up
to face like
new
really weird
character
things
in
when you're gonna
the
play
like
with her. You're gonna be facing
lens
like
of
some of the
Assassin's
craziest stuff
Creed,
that
or
happened
like
in
what
the
the heck's going
franchise.
on? But no,
But
no,
I
that
think that
person's actually pivotal.
exactly the kind of lead character that we want in our games, like the perfect mix of weirdness, geekiness, strength, knowledge. So that's who Layla is.
I wish I could be
You
as
mean the
excited
Mary
as
Sue?
Aymar.
that's
Yeah,
that's
right.
gonna be
yet touched
criticism
on
that
some
we'll
of those
probably hear
legendary
about that.
artifacts
But
that
the card's nice
Templar
though.
Assassins are referring to. So the EC relics, or as a lot of people know them, the pieces of Eden. So our
Waiters
first
confirmed not interesting.
piece of
Sorry,
Eden,
folks.
is actually one that was recently in game terms held by Layla, which is Caduceus Staff of Hermes. So what is this? First of all, talk about Aymar, the role of these sort of legendary pieces in the game, and then more specifically about this one.
Yeah, it's quite the complicated aspect and complicated part. Like at the beginning, most of the pieces of Eden were basically MacGuffin.
So
they're here to advance the narrative in the
game,
and they were kind of like game changer, mystical.
And now your
that
commander's
you don't really know how they
indestructible,
work, or you know that they're super powerful
and can't take damage.
It helps us like focus the story at some point.
Nice
but
commander
the idea
card.
is that all of these artifacts are coming from an ancient civilization that has now vanished. And
it's legendary, so it's going to be tutorable by a lot of things. That's honestly really good.
Fighting into the shadow in order to gain advantage or take them.
For commander.
With the Templars, it's quite obvious what they're doing.
Well, that's what everybody plays now. So
exactly.
And do some research. That's how they were able to advance tech and to create the Animus and lots of other things. The assassins are more acting as protector. They want to get sure that this artifact that causes the doom of a civilization will not fall upon the wrong hands. So most of the time they're hiding them.
That staff is cracked in commander. Exactly.
And the Caduceus is
There's
one
the chase
of the
card.
most powerful artifacts
One
in
of
the franchise that can turn you into someone completely mortal. So
I like what
that's why people are fighting.
Was it
quick like in order
quick
to get
tick,
control of
whatever
that super
laughs and questing boost. Yes.
Yeah, and yesterday, I say that we haven't said this. We pre-recorded this, so when I say yesterday, I mean yesterday for you, the viewers at home, not yesterday for those of us who are recording this. But yesterday, Ubisoft actually revealed the I'll say the original piece of Eden, so the Apple of Eden.
There you go.
Relic. There it is.
Yep, super important. They needed to absolutely have this just as much as the Animus.
This
I'll be right back.
Legendary artifacts thing. So we also included some reprints. Corey, tell us a little bit about the Sword of Light and Shadow and the Sword of Feast and Famine that we've also included in the set and what they're meant to represent.
Yeah, so the swords for the reprints. This has a few reprints. A lot of the reprints are going to be cards that we thought fit really well, and cards that we thought were really exciting to include in this kind of set. For the swords, we looked at different equipment reprints. We just wanted to find some exciting equipment to represent a lot of different weapons throughout the franchise. More specifically on these weapons, I think that's more of a Lauren call. I didn't top line these, but we were really excited to get some really like top line cool stuff.
For the two weapons, kind of once they were selected what reprints they were, there was a lot of digging into what swords from the games would best represent them and kind of align to the mechanics. So we also wanted to spread them out across a couple of games, and the newer ones of Origins and Odyssey have more options for swords. There's not a ton of super cool swords in some of the earlier games. So the Sword of Light and Shadow, I believe, is the sort of, I'm going to say this, I think it's the Sword of Damocles. It's like the main one that Deimos has throughout the game. It's kind of like this very powerful weapon that he uses, and sort of represents as well like the I'd say the conflict that he has within him. And then the Sword of Feast and Famine is one of the legendary swords from Assassin's Creed Origins. This one, I believe, is the Viper's Tooth. And it has some like, poison effects to it as well that just kind of really set well with the black and green aspect of the lands and the discard aspects of this Feast and Famine.
Okay.
Yeah, and we see all of those have borderless treatments as well, which is very cool. Speaking of very cool and borderless and all those kinds of pretty things, Lauren, we do have one scene in Assassin's Creed. So we're going to show that full scene. So this is the Rome Vista scene. So Lauren, talk about the creation of this.
Oh, look at that panoramic. Nice.
So one of the things that happens in every Assassin's Creed game is the synchronized moment at the sort of the top.
All right,
of each
paint lands.
The fast travel points. As a player who really likes finding fast travel points in games, this is genuinely one of my favorite parts of like across all of the Assassin's Creed series. So what we wanted in the scene is to get that feeling when you're at the top of this high
That
tower,
is kind of cool.
and you hit the synchronize button, and then the entire camera pans around you, and the birds are flying, and you're sort of seeing your assassin, and you're seeing the entire setting sort of spread out before you of this game world that you're going to be experiencing, and really kind of have that vastness.
I see. I arrived back in for awesomeness. We have landscape with filter lands.
To really get that sense of immersion within the setting.
And it's a 5-color Ezio commander.
And Lauren, just to confirm, so we've done scenes before in sets. This is the only scene in this set, correct?
Yes. And so we really wanted to lean into something that was like iconic across multiple games, which is that moment of synchronizing.
Yep, and then you jump into the haystack, which phases you out.
Or you miss it, which happens to me sometimes.
It can, yeah.
I love how we get to see Blake's dating history.
We've seen a couple reprints so far, but there are also a number of reprints that are just thematically just really on point.
Brian,
Thank you,
you're
Casey.
right. I said that.
Corey,
they're the Horizon lands. My bad.
Horizon? Yeah.
Yeah, they're Horizon lands. The filter lands are the Shadowmoor Lorwyn ones. And the Pain lands are the like Battlefield Forge, add a colorless, and then pick two colors. Yeah, which are standard legal. All good, bro. Miri, it's another printed Miri. I guess they have to have some mid-level cards.
Certain assassinations throughout the games
and it's on theme.
I mean, no cap. I kind of want that murder edge.
So we'll have murder, and there's like a slew of other removal spells actually throughout the games and the reprints, which I think is super fun.
I had a lot of fun picking iconic murders. Just like, who's the cool people that dies?
Right. And
of course,
between us.
Lauren mentioned earlier that she was a big fan of the conspiracies in the set, and you know what? We paid that off a little bit.
Yeah, there's certain cards like conspiracy. Yeah, exactly. We're like, you know what would be so funny to have as a reprint? Conspiracy. It's the a lot of the point of the setting is that so many things are happening behind the shadows of history. So we thought this was a slam dunk.
And the last reprint we're going to look at here, just kidding, really on point. Also the bundle promo.
How do you slam dunk a 3-pointer?
Not.
Yeah, what?
Exactly he said it's a slam dunk, and I said 3-pointer.
Yeah.
Also,
it's a contradiction, lad.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're not a draft set. Let's print Royal Assassin in our set.
Right.
Moving along, there is one new mechanic in the set. Now, we did already review it.
Of course, they have to do Royal Assassin. You know what, man? I think Royal Assassin is
let's take a look
at
a card called Eagle Vision.
You know, one of those cards that could probably be a barometer of power level.
Corey, a bit about what free running is.
Yeah, I mean, so
yes, tell us about the free running, please.
Huge emphasis on movements And, you know,
Wow.
whether it's stealth or it's like parkouring up walls or swinging around, or in this case, Eagle Vision is representing, you know, you're hiding on a roof and you're kind of using an ability to, you know, see specific stuff, like hidden stuff in the world.
Or
So
commander.
there's a lot of movement and traversal and kind of exploration that's going on. And so we wanted a mechanic,
aka prowl,
a lot of
right?
action moments that you are doing throughout the game.
I guess so, huh?
Build a through line of like, hey, this is the moment where you're doing this move while you're running on these roofs or while you're jumping across these buildings or whatnot. So we're using free running as that kind of analog for actions you're doing when you're kind of on
At least now we know what free running is.
And free running essentially is a cost reduction mechanic. You're going to be able to cast this if your assassin or your commander dealt combat damage to a player this turn.
Right, so that's good because not everybody's going to play assassin.
And it's getting through
Yeah.
and it's connecting to my opponents. That feels like I'm on the go. I'm being acrobatic. I'm moving around. Assassin's a pretty narrow card type, so we were interested in opening that up a little bit in terms of synergy and to figure out what are other ways that this can be relevant past assassins. I think commanders are a really interesting slice. It obviously only approaches one format. The commander format,
Assassin's Blade. You said slice.
It's kind of the idea that your commander is your main character. And in these games, you know, you're playing as a main character, so there's some sort of harmony there of like when an assassin, if you're playing very assassin heavy, or when my main character is being acrobatic, being evasive, etc., they can pull off these moves with more ease that can give them benefits while being acrobatic.
Yeah, and Imar, what I love about, so we're going to show off about 4 cards in this, we're going to show off exactly 4 cards in this section, is we've taken magic mechanics and we matched them to game mechanics. So Eagle Vision is a mechanic in the Assassin's Creed game, and it's how you...
Eagle Vision. Are you there, Eagle Vision? Go for Eagle Vision.
Let's take a look at another
Eagle Vision
in-game mechanic, which is
Checkers,
petty larceny. So talk a bit about stealing stuff from people in the games, Imar.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's not something that is carry on every single game, but it's kind of a thing for a lot of at least the early game. And the idea was always that the assassins would be more on the side of like the unknown, on the outcast, and so they tend to get alive from the thief guilds, the burglars, the courtesans, and it has been the case since the very beginning because you know they are acting in the shadow. They don't want to be seen, and currently assassinating people is not really well perceived by the authority. So most of the time
you
they had
don't
to,
say
hide themselves and hide in the shadow and lurk.
He says, murder is bad.
Have been trained by thieves,
really,
and have the ability to steal from almost anyone, in fact, in the game, and that can bring you to many different things, from stealing gold to getting money information to stealing
S90,
useful items that you'll be able to use later on to craft elements or to use by yourself. So it's a huge part of the fantasy of being there and trying to remain, and that's one of the motto of the franchise, trying to remain hidden in plain sight. So the whole idea is that you're not always on the rooftop or on the shadow. You're walking in the street among other people while doing your petty larceny and everything.
Yeah, and including hiding in plain sight, you might want to, and he's going to say the thing, become anonymous, which is our next preview card. Corey,
anonymous.
Tell us about designing against this game mechanic of hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, I mean, hiding in plain sight, again, it's like walking through the crowds, being stealthy, not only through rooftops and stuff, but just like, you know, through crowds and stuff and trying to evade suspicion. So become anonymous it's an interesting card. We kind of started thinking about the disguise mechanic, and in MKM, there's also the cloak mechanic. And to cloak is essentially to put something into disguise. So you're going to flip something face down.
Another morph.
Maybe 2/2 with the ward. You can flip it up for its mana cost. So this is kind of a fun card, right? You exile a creature and then 2 cards on top of your library. Then you like shuffle them and then you put them all onto the battlefield. tapped and cloaked. And the idea is that, okay, your creature, which your opponent knew what it was, is now one of 3 face down creatures. They don't know which one is which.
That is super cool, bro. That is a blue card if I've ever heard it.
Disguise and cloak
Yeah.
to build a card that is pretty literal. You know, you're just blending into a crowd of face down creatures. So
interesting.
Fun, also with amazing art.
Speaking of amazing art, Lauren, this next preview card, Origin of the Hidden Ones. So you talked about the relationship.
I did want to say that artwork on that last card is probably some
earlier,
of the best,
and we get some really
or not the
cool
best, some of
saga
my
art
favorite
that sort of tells
art
that
that I've seen on a
overall
Magic card in a
story.
long time.
So what was it like
Nice.
designing
and the watercolor and
creating
shit
sagas in this set?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the sagas were a really close collaboration between Corey and I, and the art director. I believe Stephanie Chung art directed all of the sagas, and they are, again, typically a lot of art cards can really only show that snapshot in time. So sagas are one of the ways.
Yeah, these are probably going to be a lot of lore-filled cards.
Select,
no pun intended.
Memorable moments across the franchise, and it felt like the origin of the Assassin's order was a correct one to begin with, and also it has the the second benefit of showing the story specifically of Aya and Bayek, so mechanically really hitting those beats. And then the art, we wanted to be very what I'd say is diegetic, very in-world, this idea that we're leaning into the historical aspect, like this is a story being painted upon the wall, maybe the wall in the tomb of which both of them were buried, that kind of shows the story of their life. And so look out for other sagas in future reveals, that kind of to see the different ways in which we flavored them.
All right, and we are just about out of time, but I want to run through a couple cool things. The Assassin's Creed has a number of products that you can get to.
It's time for him to shill
in Magic, including
chill.
New to Magic.
Chill.
Starter set. There's a starter kit that has 2 face cards. So there's a version of Ezio, Blade of Vengeance there, and Eivor Battle Ready. Again, 2 of the more popular characters in the entire franchise. And also just
entire franchise
of those characters. If you're fans of Ezio and Eivor and you want to build a deck around them, they've got more versions. And then those come with 2 60-card decks in the starter kit, with 2 deck boxes,
this is the
and a 16-page learn to play.
The
booklet.
legacy
if you're getting
decks.
in now and you're a fan of Assassin's Creed, but you're not sure how to play Magic or how to get started, this is a great way to start.
Yeah,
your local game store to learn.
You know what's crazy is that the starter kits are normally like $15, maybe $16 at a grocery store. But I bet you these ones are going to run $20-$25.
Face cards journeys.
Yeah.
Raven Clan War Axe, Escarpment Forces, and Searcher Fiery Jotun. And then we also got for the
Giant God Warrior. What?
Achilles Davenport. Auditore Ambush.
Okay, that art is dope on Achilles Davenport.
So let's take a look at the available products. If you are into Assassin's Creed and Magic, we've got Beyond Boosters. There is a bundle. We showed the promo for the bundle earlier. There are collector boosters.
Hurry up and buy.
A reminder that some of the treatments can only be found in collector boosters. You'll want to check out the Collecting Assassin's Creed and Magic the Gathering article going up about right now. Should be up about right now. And then, of course, the starter kit, either for you or to play with your friends. The decks are pretty well balanced against each other, so you can check out any of those. But if you are a big Assassin's Creed fan, and that
may
is
contain
not
SolarGod,
we do also have 2 secret layer drops coming.
Of course,
both of these bundles are going, or both of these drops are going to have 5 unique cards.
5 unique cards. Oh boy!
In foil at $39.99 or non-foil at $29.99. So here we have Da Vinci's Designs, which is really cool. Lauren, what's going on with the design of this design?
So for these, we really wanted to lean into both the artifact side of the franchise.
More cards hard to
and-
read. Awesome.
But finding sort of flavorful Magic the Gathering
Yeah.
cards that could be reskinned
Admittedly,
as
though, these
cool
are
artifacts and
very on
equipment from
theme
the games
and
themselves. So, like
look
the
super
example of
cool.
Whisper Silk.
But
Yeah, it does
I'm
look
over
cool.
here
That is
trying.
the
Yeah, I'm
Assassin's
over here
Guard.
trying to
That
read
is
it. You're
your
right. It
robe
is
that
difficult.
you slip your hood up and then suddenly no one can see you. And I loved also having the Da Vinci aspect. He's such a prominent character for in the 3 Ezio in Ezio Saga. He's really the one that gives you all of your equipment, and so having this kind of sketchbook, this feeling of these being pages of his notes that you can see, and with the sketches and the small little like quips on the side was
You know
just
what?
super fun to work with the
I
art
have to do
director,
it.
to really make
These
Do
cards
it.
seem sort of sketchy.
And then the second one, we have Lethal Legends, which reimagines some popular Magic the Gathering legends as characters from Assassin's Creed. So, Lauren, talk a little bit about translating these Magic legends into Assassin's Creed characters.
So we wanted both a spread of characters across the Assassin's Creed franchise, and the plus side is a lot of the characters, kind of like we mentioned already with like Edward and Ivor, they sort of have two jobs. They're both assassins, but they're something else. So one of them being a pirate.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Warrior, and that gave us some.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they had to
explore
do
a
it.
lot of different.
If they
cards within
didn't do
Magic,
it,
a lot of
somebody would have been
legends.
like, "Why didn't
We
you?"
took kind of the approach of saying,
But,
like, what characters do we want to have, and what mechanics and what character
Yeah.
cards that we already
Okay.
have in Magic that line up really nicely with them. I think my favorite is probably Amunet, the Aya's card as Queen Marchesa. It's a really fun twist on this idea of you becoming the monarch. Like, it's not because you're royalty, it's because she is assassinating the person that's in your way, as well as building up that assassin army and kind of bringing all of them to life. And I do want to give just a big thank you to Amar and Ubisoft. When these were in development, the Assassin's Creed Mirage hadn't released yet, but they still gave us access to a lot of materials in order to develop cards and the art for cards like Basim, to actually be able to incorporate that version of the characters into the set. And it was just such a wonderful part of the partnership to be able to express the most recent version of the characters, even though they hadn't finished their work, so it was definitely an ask on our end.
The artworks are nice.
Fantastic.
I'll give it
Well, I
that.
will also thank Amar and everyone at Ubisoft for
Amar,
joining us today for this amazing
for making
set.
my brain
Thank you,
hurt.
Amar.
Thank you, Corey.
Your
Yay.
15 years of service at Ubisoft has not gone unnoticed.
Designs and the decisions around making the set really translate to Magic so well. We are going to be in previews today and tomorrow with the full card image gallery going up Thursday, so definitely tune in for all of that.
All right.
I'm very excited to see.
I guess we're looking at every card on Thursday,
all
bro.
of your reactions, whether you're an Assassin's Creed fan or a Magic the Gathering fan, or like me, a bit of both. I think you're going to find a lot to love in the set. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Thank you. Come again.
Yeah. Well, what do you think, bro? I'm not sure how I feel.
I'm happy that it's not a standard set or a premier modern set. Honestly, it being Aftermath 2.0, as one of our fellows in chat was saying, I think it was probably the best move. Because if it was only a secret layer, right, they changed their model of secret layer to not printed demand, right? It's limited printing.
Yeah.
So to be able to have this product accessible to the general public as opposed to, niched collectors is a good move. And I don't know, I guess 15 the argument could be made that, oh, well, they could have just made them 15 card packs still, but that could possibly be a little overwhelming for like the new Magic player, like somebody who's never played Magic before. So I don't know. Just as I say overwhelmed, Brian's like underwhelmed. He's underwhelmed.
Yeah. I'm hardly whelmed.
Nice.
All right, so here's all the previews. I guess Ubisoft had one yesterday. They probably showed it in today's thing. But these are the ones. Hey, look, my old sponsors got a card today. Sweet. Let's see. Okay. Let's see here. News. Wolf theme, Drowsy.
Casey, yes, they do exist. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, there's got to be like I don't know, like it's hard to be excited about it. Yeah, I hear that, man. I'm like struggling trying not to be negative about it. But anyways, moving on here. So here's all the people that have all the spoilers. They're knocking it out in 2 days. So I guess we'll be revealing the whole set on Thursday. So there's that. And it won't be potato cam pictures, so that's cool. It's like I think we saw like maybe one leak on this set, but even leakers aren't like, I'm really surprised we haven't seen a bunch of potato cam pictures, to be honest. Okay, so they're gonna reveal it in the next 2 days. That's interesting. Let's go back to feature.
I'd imagine because it's a crossover with a big company like Ubisoft, they have everything locked down a lot more. You know what I'm saying? That's why we haven't seen a lot of leaks.
Yeah, makes sense. And then also, complete set will be out June 20th. We'll be covering all that on MTG Roundtable. So we'll definitely get a good feel for it. It's kind of interesting because like we're still in spoiler season on Thursday on normal sets, but this one, it's such a small set. They're just like, here, have all of it. So there's a scene card. Did they talk about scenes yet? I don't remember. Borderless memory corridor. So we saw that art extended, foil etched, and textured. So textured foils and serialized. Okay. Here's the basic lands, looking nice. Oh, I like that swamp. All right.
Swamp.
All right.
Sorry, I was getting girlfriend aggro over here, but like actually more like girlfriend buffing. You know what I'm saying? Not aggro.
That's right.
Because she's giving me McDonald's breakfast like an angel.
Oh, bet. Okay, super jelly. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Oh, did they cover Desmond? I just saw this that he gets +1 for each assassin you control and in your graveyard. Sweet. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, nobody's able to see the cards on screen, homie.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. There you go.
Yay.
So this is the breakdown of I did a thing. There's the lands, so not too shabby. This trident dude looks kind of cool. I like this swamp. The mountains. The 4 asks. Oh, like this one. That's cool. Okay. And this Desmond Miles. Did they cover him already?
Not Desmond, but that Ezio has been out there for sure.
Yeah, yeah. But the Desmond, 2-drop, colorless and a black for a 1/3. And then it gets +1/+0 for each assassin you control and each assassin card in your graveyard. So I maybe they define assassin card, but I know creature assassins definitely will boost them up. And whenever he deals combat damage to a player, surveil X, where X is the amount of damage it dealt to that player. Nice.
Oh yeah, I'd rock that.
And there's no way in the world I can pronounce that name right, but we covered the first strike guy here, right?
Altier. I don't think they actually covered that.
Oh, okay.
So 3/3 first strike for Mardu. Whenever Altier attacks, exile up to one target assassin creature card from your graveyard with a memory counter on it. Then, for each creature card you own in exile with a memory counter, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of it. Exile them at end of combat.
Interesting. Okay. And we saw the wolf kissed. Oh, do we see the eagle bearer?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Oh, okay, I got this one. Colorless, a red and a white. It's got haste for 2/2. Okay. Whenever Cassandra enters the battlefield, search your graveyard, hand, and library for a card named the Spear of Leonidas, and put that on the battlefield and shuffle. Whenever a creature you control with legendary equipment attached to it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That's not bad. Not bad.
More Boros equipment action, but hey, we like to see it.
So we got showcased and textured. Of course, textured will only, well, actually, both the showcase and textured will only be available in collector boosters. All right, there's the apple, cool, and the Sword of Feast and Famine. That's cool. Black and green. Okay, there's Da Vinci. We saw that. Okay, so the scene cards were the panoramics. So you have this guy and two of the, is it Canopy Lands? Is that what we're calling it?
The Horizon Lands.
Oh, Horizon Lands. Yeah. Canopy's different then, right? Okay. So there you go.
Horizon Canopy is one of the Horizon Lands, so maybe that's where you're getting it from.
Okay. All right. So there you go. These create the scene. And then the next one is the other three cards. So I think that's kind of neat. And those are available in all the things. Here's the Spear of... Yeah.
I was going to say those lands are probably going to be one of the main hook and sinkers for a lot of players, to be honest with you, like chase cards outside of the legendaries. Yeah.
And we got Spear of Leonidas. I'm not sure if we... It looks familiar. Whenever... okay, so a 3-drop, 2 colorless and a red. Whenever a creature attacks, choose one. Bull Rush gains double strike. Create a Phobos legendary 3/2 red horse creature token. So it spawns a horse, and then discard 2 cards, then draw 2 cards, equip 2. Yeah, I think we did cover that before.
Still a great card.
Yeah. And foil etched digital render. That's what they're calling it now. Just kidding. Anyway, but there it is. Haystack.
Heck yeah. Not just a cool white wrapper.
Yeah. There we go. We got serialized historical figure cards. Loving that Cleopatra. But we got Leonardo da Vinci, and these are all in their language. So interesting.
Huh.
Yeah. Beyond boosters. Ugh. Okay. So beyond booster contents. All right. So 3 uncommons, 1 basic land, 1 non-foil rare or mythic. Traditional foil cards, so that could be anything. And traditional foil or non-foil alternative frame card of any rarity. So 1 rare pack with the potential of 3 total.
Interesting.
Oh, no. Total 4 possible because basic land or scene card. So maybe that those panoramics won't be as hard to get, I guess. But it's a or scene card rare or mythic, yeah. So you're gonna end up with one of the panoramic cards in every pack. So I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. Still neat though if you get all three, you know. Okay, and now the breakdown on the collectors. You get 10 cards in the collector. Now. All right, so 3 traditional uncommons because there's no commons in the set. Gives them an excuse to bump commons up to uncommon or rare, which I think is lame. But anyway, 1 traditional foil memory corridor. Okay, so definitely guaranteed one of those corridor cards. Foil etched uncommon. Okay. 1 foil or rare. Okay, 1 traditional foil basic land or rare or mythic. Okay. So a foil of some kind, be a land or a scene card. So there you go. Traditional rare mythic. So there's at least 1 rare there. Non-foil extended art, rare mythic. Okay. Traditional foil, rare or mythic, alternative frame card, extended art, or borderless card. Or one of the following. Oh, okay. So this is where you can get your double rainbow serialized card or a textured foil memory card.
I mean, people are gonna call them memory cards. Honestly, like,
yeah,
not gonna be the only one. What I like about that is that they don't have the super expensive card potentially in the backpack. There's a couple cards that buffer it, so it is less likely to get nicked and damaged.
That's true because you have your foil etched rare and your non-foil extended art covering that card. So there you go. All right, and then of course the bundle, which is 9 Beyond boosters. Okay. And then, of course, your starter kit. And now we have the Hidden Blade. 2-drop flash. When Hidden Blade enters the battlefield, attached to target creature you control. If that creature is an assassin, it gains Death Touch. Okay. I think we saw this one, no? Anyway, it gets +1/+0 and has first strike. Equip 2.
Not too bad. I'm happy that it's not legendary. I almost wish you could equip it at flash speed, but I suppose being able to cast it at flash speed, and it does attach to a target creature you control. Okay, so never mind. Disregard. It as soon as it comes in, it attaches. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it has flash too. So yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Caustic? Yeah, I know I'm up this early. But we were only how late was I? Like 10 minutes. So we kept the meme alive. All right. Wow. I wonder if they updated the where did it say here? We'll see if they updated this. Yeah, they did. All right, so there's the Staff of Hermes, which, I guess it's rare, so it won't be that hard, but definitely a strong commander card. There's Haystack, Layla. There's a Templar Knight. Let's see, tap. It's got Vigi, 2-drop for 3/1, tap 5 untapped attacking creatures you control named Templar Knight. 5 of them. So you can have as many Templars as you want in your deck. Okay. Got it. Had to make sure to sell more, Deck can have any number, and then search your library for a legendary artifact, put it on the battlefield, and shuffle. That's not bad. You gotta tap 5 of them, though. Blue, Eagle Vision, become anonymous. Evie Fry, partner with Jacob. Oh, I kind of blinked and missed that. Draw a card and discard a card. When you discard a creature card this way, target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. Ooh. Ugh. Okay, not bad. There you go. Hey, look, an almost modern card. Are you looking? Are you looking?
Yes, it's a looter. Ooh, I get to fill my graveyard.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's fairly strong. I'm impressed. And who is Jacob? Do we see Jacob yet? No Jacob yet. Okay. And yeah, we saw these. Okay. And there's Conspiracy, Cover Darkness is super good. I like that one. Give everything fear. There's Desmond Miles, which we saw. There's Ezio. Okay. Ezio. Sorry. Thank you. Yes, you could buy that card only on Etsy. I'm just saying.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Petty Larceny. So you got the free running, and look at the top 2 cards to target opponent's library. Exile face down. Yeah, we saw this one. Okay. And you can pay anything to do that, plus you get a treasure token. Sweet.
That's cool. They have a couple different arts for Royal Assassin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the bundle one right there on the right.
Oh, okay. Got it. It's kind of cool. All right. So Revelations of Ezio. Probably pronouncing that wrong. 2 colorless and a black. Destroy target tapped creature an opponent controls. Okay. Whenever an assassin you control attacks this turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. That's not bad. Return target assassin creature from your graveyard to the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it. Okay.
Dude, yes, we love Reanimator. Got
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we saw the Origin. Here's the Spear of Leonidas. Breaker Chains. We saw this one. Yep.
This is magic.
Yeah. Oh, this is that card I talked about for like 5 hours. That was amazing. There's the Double Striker. Okay. There's the Cleopatra. Let's go. Can't wait for that one.
She rolls up to Vraska like, I'm the queen of the Golgari now.
I am the queen now. Yeah. Yeah, I think we covered Edward. Okay. I think we covered these. All right. Mary Reed and Anne Bonny. We didn't see that one. Haste, draw a card, discard a card. Whenever you discard an island, pirate, or vehicle card, create a tapped treasure token. Oh, okay. And 3 drop for a 3/3. Pretty reasonable. Did we get SolarGod?
Yeah, they did do the preview.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, because he's the saga and land guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Is your coffee not strong enough, sir?
No.
Oh wait, hey, go up. There's a WPN logo below that card. is a buy a box promo. So the Hidden Blade Extended is going to be the buy a box promo, which kind of weak, bro.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, Sword of Feast and Famine and Sword of Light and Shadow.
Ah, there we go. There we go.
The Animus. Brotherhood Headquarters.
Abstergo Entertainment.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Wait, no, hold on. What does that land do though? You kind of scroll past. Hold up. So it's tap 1 for a Wingding, and then 1 colorless tap for any color. So it's a filter, and then pay 3, tap, exile this, and return up to 1 target historic card from your graveyard. Then exile all graveyards. So it's like a Bajuka Bog plus a reclaim. Yes.
Yeah, they did cover that during the thing, but no, it's fine though. It's not a bad card. Like, it's better than the Brotherhood. Okay, so you can to cast a assassin spell or a spell that has free running. Okay. Or to activate ability of Assassin Source. Okay, okay. There's the lands again. All right, so Horizon lands are in. All right, there you go, guys.
Yeehaw.
So this will all be updated Thursday. We can cover that in depth and get more into the set on Thursday. Make sure you guys tune in. We'll be there at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so that will be 8 p.m. Eastern for y'all. StreamYard is swap. Need 4K. What? Any is a Black Cell show I'm watching. Oh, okay. Yeah, kind of weak to pay an extra $30 at your LGS. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So for Annie Bonnie. Got it. Got it. Well, guys, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Was there anything you wanted to talk about there, TCGDude, as far as any of the cards revealed today?
I mean, I wouldn't select anything specifically. I think that the sentiment folks were saying in chat of being underwhelmed is probably the most accurate.
Yeah.
I think those Swords of Feast and Famine and Light and Shadow is nice heavy hitters there.
Yeah.
And stuff that we normally see reprinted in a Masters set. And so for it to be in these beyond boosters, by chance, like that's actually really cool. I'm looking forward to cracking some of those open, especially because they're generally cheaper than other packs. But who knows? They might price hike it because it's Assassin's Creed instead of just the traditional Aftermath like they had previously.
So the Aftermath currently is sitting around $130 and about $230 for the collectors. Yeah.
Oh my God, they went back up. Oh, okay. They're not horribly crashed anymore. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, let's have a look, actually, because I don't know if they horribly crashed, because I literally rolled out of bed and started the show late, so. All right, let's have a look on TCG Player. I'm getting it.
I told you I
can't
here. Come to work today. My baby beat me up.
Yeah. Okay, let's go here. And
ew, DJ's Magic Cart history.
Oh yeah, there's some interesting cards I was looking at. And of course, dude, I like, of all my orders, like only 25% hit ratio, bro. Like for all my orders this last couple of months from TCG Player, like, bruh, come on, man. I had to get a refund on another order. Just like, really? If it was under $10, they don't bother to ship it. It's pretty lame. All right. Okay, so here's 254.60. Let's have a look here at the collector booster. All right, so about 260. Okay, boo. But at least it's 10 cards. And then 7 for that. So about $1.30 and 24 packs of 7 card packs. Okay. So $1.30, $2.60 for the collectors. The starter kit, yeah, it's probably going to be 30 plus at retail if you really wanted to pick one up. Oh my god, dude. $10 for a Beyond booster pack. Wow. And 33 for collectors. Boo. Okay. Of course, no pricing yet. But yeah.
Yeah, so
I
I
think
was gonna say we can quickly compare the Aftermath products to this for the viewers here. I was
Sure.
looking at it on my end. It looks like as of a year ago, these collector booster boxes for March of the Machine Aftermath were roughly
Yeah.
$150. They are sitting at $75 shipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
Wow.
yeah. Oh, okay. 75 plus 10 shipped. Excuse me. A few for 90 and then 100. So yeah, sharp decline in that value.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna try to keep that price up because of the I can't think of the name right now. Dang it. Because of the IP, bro. I don't think they don't want to see this dip too hard. I have a feeling it will, but they're gonna hold on strong, I think, to that 130 and 260 if possible. Well, I mean, it is. The only difference is that you got 2 more cards in the epilogue booster, basically, and I think what was it? Collectors was 6 cards, so you get 10 instead. But still, and that is a good question. Do you cancel your pre-release purchases? Well, so you got collectors at 210. That's good, and Beyond at 114. Price wise, I think you're okay. I think it will take a minute for it to dip, but yeah, you did okay price wise. You think they will retain value? Just curious the price of AC versus Aftermath. Yeah, I was trying to pull that up here. Let's see. Bruh. Okay.
March of
It
the
was
Machine Aftermath. It was to the right, I believe.
oh.
There you
There
go,
it
right
is.
there. Yeah. Then we can. Yep.
Yeah, 75. Geez. And $50. That's where it should be though for a mini set, Whatever.
Right. That reminds me
Yeah.
of buying Yu-Gi-Oh boxes, bro. Honestly, like sometimes it's
Right.
nice to just be like, I got
Well,
$50, and I'll just buy a booster box of Yu-Gi-Oh.
right. I mean, honestly, that's what they wanted is they want a smaller box to fit more boxes on Japanese shelves. So because their stores are smaller,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And for shipping
Yeah.
wise, there's a lot of pluses to having the product like that.
Yeah. And the only one is the Halo foil. Nick's still retaining value. The Halo foil of Calyx.
Calyx and
Right.
Nisa. Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, at this price point though, you hit 2 Nissas, you made your money back. But yeah, I don't know, man. We don't have pricing on this new set popping out. But I really think they're gonna try to hold strong. They're gonna short print the hell out of it. I think this is what they're combating the price decline. But I don't know, man. I don't know. They will be on Thursday, bro. So Thursday we'll actually be able to cover the whole set. Yeah. But the 20th, which is Thursday, they'll have all of the cards up in the gallery. So yeah, so this should be updated Thursday, so we don't have to deal with Potato Cam. I will try to get up in the morning and, well, at some point before the show, and get all the cards, so we don't have to keep flipping through this. But at least there's no ads, so maybe we could just flip through this instead. We'll see. But yeah, well, I don't know, man. I'm like underwhelmed. Really, there's some okay and cool cards. But I'm not 100% sold on it. I'm not going to rush out for this.
Okay. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm happy that it's not the price point of Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as IP crossover Magic product goes, concerned.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're going to step off into a danger meeting. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. Much appreciated. Sorry about the tardiness, but it honestly, we keep the meme alive. Yeah. Oh, S90 says he'll buy like 5 cards. Oh, and the lands. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
no doubt. I'm definitely chasing the lands.
yeah, the lands are cool. And the 2 swords is neat. So yeah, I don't know. As far as you canceling your order, Caustic, that's up to you. You already have a good price. I don't think it will dip much lower than that for a little bit because, like I said, they are definitely going to short print this product. So they're going to keep that price up there. They have to show us something today and tomorrow that's really broken to really bring this over the top. So we'll see. All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We might have some shenanigans tonight if you guys want to tune in, but I do not have a time on that yet. So we might have a chaos stream tonight. We'll see. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Adios.